Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, getting ready for a great work week. And I am coming at you from a hotel room in Norfolk, Virginia, because I'm here working with a church that I've been working with for several months. And sorry, we're doing 9 Minute Monday a little early because I need to get there and do their staff training event for today. So that's what's going on. Hope you all are doing well and looking forward to just talking about another practical ideas for leading well this week. And today I want to talk about using the 4 dimensions for leading meetings. And I don't know about you guys, but meetings are complicated. They're essential. They're necessary. In fact, I once had a boss kind of say to me, "You lead by meetings." And it's true, because used well, meetings can be really, really helpful tool to move mission forward and to help the team get stuff done and, just make mission happen. But ineffective meetings can be really frustrating. And so I'm not going to get into necessarily all the effective ways to host a meeting, but I'm going to talk about why the 4 dimensions are so essential for creating healthy kind of structure for meetings. And those of you who have read my book, The 4 Dimensions of Extraordinary Leadership, we're pulling this from that, in that I think those 4 dimensions that I talk about in the book, our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength, are really essential for leading well. Now, in my early days of leadership, I was a pretty one-dimensional leader. I am a super driven, A-type, overachiever, make things happen, kind of just the bulldog, of productivity in the teams that I led. And I'm pretty sure that my meetings were pretty torturous for my teams, because I was so focused on what we were accomplishing and making sure everybody was on task and achieving their goals. And that I think sometimes it was just so hard driving, it really lacked some heart and soul. And I just had this urgency for productivity and this efficiency, which all of those things make me really good at the work I do, but often were just exhausting for the teams that I lead. So I had to learn pretty quickly, and it was some time, wisdom, a few hard knocks that gave me some perspective on how to create healthier conversations, healthier meeting structures, so that your team can thrive and you can really get the most out of them, and you can make your meetings the most effective. So from the 4 Dimensions book, I walk you through heart, soul, mind, and strength, and how the Great Commandment really encourages us it doesn't encourage, it tells us it's the Great Commandment, right? It says to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength, and then to love your neighbor as yourself. So it's love God and love others with heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the implication, and this was some of the research that I kind of did in studying that passage, is that the implication is that heart, soul, mind, and strength are our whole being. It's all of who God designed us to be. That all of these dimensions are really essential for loving God and loving others. And I believe that the work we do as leaders is all about loving others well, that it's not just about barking orders, but it's about whispering possibilities. It's about drawing the best out of other people. And so even in the context of meetings, we've got to be on the lookout for, how do I lead people with my whole being so that I'm really loving them well and then spurring them on to doing great work. So that's the why, that's the heart behind all of it. So let me just give you a quick snapshot of what it looks like to lead with heart, soul, mind, and strength in the constructs of a meeting. So let's look at heart. Heart is that relational side of us. It's our relational connectivity, our ability to really relate person to person with our team members. And sometimes when we go into meetings have a very specific purpose. Hopefully you have good structured meetings that have a purpose. But so we'll go straight into the meeting, we'll jump into the agenda, but we'll miss just a little bit of a time to connect with one another. And that's the thing I want you to pay attention to, even this week as you go into your meetings. how can you take just a minute to relationally connect? So you might be thinking of a question that you could ask your team as you settle into a meeting. If you're going to be leading a meeting that's people that don't get together regularly, they don't know one another well, you might just think of a question that, hey, what did everybody do for fun this weekend? I mean, super simple, but it gets people talking about themselves and helps them feel, and hopefully you are, interested in learning more about them. If it's a team that meets regularly, so my team, the Foresight team, we meet every Monday. And we all do what we just call a check-in. So, hey, tell me what's going on in your life, highs, lows, and it's just a rhythm. And we take the first 10 minutes of our meeting to just check in and hear what's going on in each other's lives and each other's stories. Some of you do this really naturally, and it actually consumes most of your meeting. So you might need to kind of dial it back and just give it an appropriate amount of time so you can get to the other work. Some of you don't do, like me, aren't very good at it. So you have to really prep yourself and condition yourself to take those couple extra minutes at the beginning of a meeting to relationally connect. And you'll see how much more engaged people are when we've taken a minute to just be interested in them. That's the heart. The soul is, it's our spiritual leadership. And so for those of you in a context where prayer and that kind of conversation is okay, then praying in your meetings might be appropriate. I'm not saying you have to pray in every meeting, but you can kind of discern, is this a meeting we need to pray together as a team? Others of you might be people of faith, but you're not in a context where that would be appropriate. Then I would encourage you, pray before you walk into that meeting. Ask God to give you wisdom and insight so that you can lead that meeting in a way that just is better. It makes everyone better, and God would just give you great wisdom as you walk into a meeting. So that's a way you can engage your soul in leading meetings. Another thing that you can do, and this is whether it's a Christian context or not, you can really call out and celebrate when people are really modeling God-honoring characteristics. So if people are really engaging conflict in a healthy way, or they're really being honoring to one another, or they showed great humility, or they were just really honest about a situation and owned their responsibility. Those are God-honoring characteristics that we can reinforce as leaders that is really leading with soul. Third thing is mind. And this is probably the bulk of your agenda for a meeting. So this is typically not the hard part for a meeting structure, in that we have an agenda, we're setting the strategy, or we're planning, or we're making decisions. So make sure those things are a part of your agenda. So those of you who are hyper-relational, you might have a hard time getting to this part of the meeting. But typically, if you have good purpose and direction for meetings, this is going to be the bulk of it. So it doesn't require as much of our time for this conversation. But know where you're going to be engaging the mind, where you're going to be doing the strategic, the thinking, the decision-making work, and then how does that fit into your overall meeting structure. And then finally, strength. And strength is this visionary side of leadership, because when we provide vision, vision provides hope, hope provides strength for our teams. And so you want to make sure that as you're throughout the meeting, but for sure when you close the meeting, are you reminding people of why they're doing what they're doing, why this meeting even mattered, what's the purpose, how does it connect to the big vision? So casting vision, bringing people back around to saying, okay, I know we talked about a ton of details. We really defined who's doing what, and we, made some decisions that are really important. I just want to remind you of why this matters. So thank you for doing your work. Thank you for being faithful to your work. Do you see how everything you do connects to the big picture and to the vision of our organization? You're always looking for those opportunities to recast the vision and help connect people, to connect every individual's work to that vision. And that's how you lead with strength. So as you go about your work week this week, as you go into meetings, especially those that you're directly leading, how can you infuse some heart, some soul, some mind, and some strength? And I promise you, your teams, your meetings are going to be better for it. So have an amazing week, keep leading well, and we'll see you next time.